Whoa, whoa, whoa. Miami finally scored a touchdown? Wait, hold up. 5 touchdowns and they won the game? I know what this calls for. I'll be back. What's going on, Canes fans? Now that my entire room and body is covered in confetti, guys, I'm literally not playing. It's all over everything. It's time to talk about the Miami versus Georgia Tech game. My post-game instant reaction, and I just have to say it feels really good to finally film one of these and smile again and actually feel good about it. I'm smiling. The fans are smiling. Mario Cristobal was smiling. The players were smiling. It's about time. Now, before you jump down my gullet, because there are going to be plenty of Canes fans that do, I understand that this was the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, guys. Trust me, I know that. But you have to understand a couple of things. I was also putting us in the same category as the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. They aren't very good. We also aren't very good. And it doesn't mean that all of a sudden we're a good, amazing football team because we beat another bad football team. I can't believe that I still have to put these disclaimers in the videos, but I absolutely do. You also have to remember that we were also supposed to beat MTSU. Look how that turned out. We were also supposed to beat Duke. What do you know? That didn't happen. So even though going into this game, Georgia Tech was technically a 1.5 point favorite, this was a team that we are supposed to beat or were supposed to beat. And we finally did. So let's take a quick look at some positives and some negatives from this game. Just remember that I'm filming this immediately after the game. So, I'm a little bit in my feelings. I'm a tad bit emotional, but we're going to dive into it. Jakari mother-flippin' Brown. This dude oozes athleticism. And when he finally puts it all together, he's going to be unstoppable. Now, listen, I'm not crowning this guy early. It was literally his very first official start as a Miami Hurricane, and he is a true freshman. There are lots of things that he did well, and there are also things he didn't do well. He needs to obviously continue to work on his accuracy and his deep ball. But you can't ignore the fact that we hadn't scored a touchdown in 9 quarters of football. This dude comes out as the starting quarterback, and in our first offensive possession, we go on an 11-play drive for 75 yards that ends in a touchdown and breaks the touchdown curse that we were dealing with. Jakari Brown is a baller. That dude is a dog. Man, I knew when we marched down the field on that first drive that we were cooking. We were looking at something potentially special in the future. Now, does Jakari, which, by the way, my chat named him Jacuzzi. They came up with a nickname, either Jacuzzi or JB11, I think were the two that were getting tossed around. But most people call him Jacuzzi. Does Jacuzzi come out and start our last 2 games, Clemson and Pitt? Let me know down in the comment section below. I believe the answer to that question is yes, for multiple reasons. Now, I don't want to dive into that in this instant react video. I'm actually going to talk about it in my walking and venting video going up on Sunday, and then we'll talk about it in the late night real talk stream and throughout the week. Obviously, this is going to be a huge discussion point. It's a hot topic, very debatable, controversial. A lot of Canes fans don't see eye to eye on this, but I do think that it's probably the right decision, like I said, for multiple reasons. And can we talk about Cam mother-flippin' Kinchins? 3 touchdowns this afternoon. One of them he takes to the house for 99 yards. That dude's sideline to sideline speed is just on another level. And I mean, Miami fans, literally just a few weeks ago, were calling for that dude to hit the portal. That guy is a baller, and we need to hang on to him. Let's also not forget that we had 0 turnovers in this game, and Jalen Knighton came out and took advantage of the opportunity with Parrish being out. This is a guy that has struggled with fumbling as of late, but you guys know that that's my dude. I'm a huge fan of Rooster, but I'm also not, going to come on here and not criticize, these guys. I try to provide constructive criticism. It's all out of love, and he's been struggling as of late. But he came into this game, he took all of that criticism, didn't back down, and he rushed for over 100 yards this afternoon, and he ran really tough. We needed that, and he needed that. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. You guys know who I'm talking about. I honestly don't even need to say a name, and you guys know exactly what I mean. Josh Gaddis. Now here's the deal. We've been criticizing this guy. He's received a lot of hate, and rightfully so in my opinion. I am also the type of person that likes to give credit when it is deserved, and he did earn a little bit of praise in this one. It wasn't a perfect game. There were still some questionable play calls, and he absolutely has not won me over. Not even close. Let me tell you, again, that's a conversation for another day. I'm not all of a sudden pro Gaddis. This dude is the greatest OC in college football, but he did call a good enough game to get the job done this afternoon, and you can tell that he built a game plan around Jakari, and it was effective enough to win. Again, it was kind of boring, wasn't super exciting or explosive, but he called a game that won us the game. I'll say that. And I do have to mention the effort, especially from a lot of the younger guys. You saw them actually, talking people up on the sideline. They were jumping up and down, and they were playing hard this afternoon. And it's not only the young guys, but again, we're kind of talking about flipping this roster. We're discussing this youth movement thing. These guys that we feel like are more the playmakers and the dogs, the guys that are bought in. And you saw that from some of those guys this afternoon, and that's big time again for the future. I'm thinking past just this game, guys. I'm looking ahead, and that's very promising. Now, of course, with the good also comes some bad. And for starters, we laid a big fat goose egg in the third quarter of this game. We put up 0 points. Now, to be fair, the defense actually held Georgia Tech to 0 points as well in the third quarter, but not even a field goal from us for an entire quarter was tough to see. We also had multiple penalties that extended drives for Georgia Tech. We absolutely have to clean those up because it's going to be much more costly against Clemson and Pitt. I could also probably nitpick the 136 passing yards, which of course is not a whole lot, but it was enough to get the job done this afternoon. I am going to say, however, that 136 total passing yards for us next week will not get the job done. Also against Pitt, I don't think that will be enough. So that's just something to keep in the back of your mind and think about. Otherwise, I'm going to stop with the bad right there. This was probably the most complete game that we've played against a Power 5 opponent so far this season. And yes, it was against the Yellow Jackets, but with the way we were playing leading up to this game, I will absolutely take it. Now, to close this thing out, I do always like to jump over and take a quick look at the stats on ESPN.com just so we can get a little bit more of a bigger picture with how this game went down. So I'm mostly going to focus on Miami stats, and we'll roll through this pretty quick. Third down efficiency this afternoon was 7 of 12. That is honestly not bad. Not bad at all for us. 353 total yards of offense. We already touched on the fact that only 136 of that was passing. 217 of that was rushing. That's mostly going to be split between Jakari and Knighton, but we'll take a look at the box score here in just a moment. 9 penalties for 79 yards. Again, more so with that is just the timing. On the fourth downs, whenever it's extending drives, that's really, really bad. We can't have those things happening. But ball security, 0 turnovers. And when you look at Georgia Tech, now 3 of those are from Cam Kinchins, the others from Tyreek with a pick. Man, though, you absolutely love to see that. Jakari on the afternoon, 14 of 19, 136 yards, 3 touchdown passes. Knighton went 16 for 118. Jakari 19 for 87. That's that Jakari Brown effect, man. Even if we can't effectively run the ball with the backs, Jakari is the type of dual threat quarterback that makes them have to respect the run. And that's why I really think that, it helped the offensive line look better, even though they played a little better in the game. But Jakari makes it look better because in the end, we only took 1 sack this afternoon. But Jakari is very elusive, so that helps that. That's something we don't have with Jake or TVD. Brashard had 1 for 9. When we jump to receiving, again, we did not throw the ball a lot. Ladson, 2 for 42. Brashard, 4 for 37. Mallory had the touchdown catch. Colby Young also had the touchdown. And Jaleel Skinner. Again, you love seeing those young guys get involved. Defensively, man, how much more can we praise Cam Kinchens? I mean, the dude just absolutely went off. And, I don't know why there was a bunch of Corey Flagg slander in my chat this afternoon for this game. Again, not the greatest athlete in the entire world, not the fastest guy on the field, but I will say he has continued to improve week in and week out. And I will say also that he's a guy that seems to leave it all on the field, and that's very, very important to me because there are a lot of guys on this squad that have not been showing that. So that is big time in my opinion when it comes to Corey Flagg. Cam Kinchens, the 3 picks. Tyreek with the pick. And what's interesting here about Cam Kinchens this afternoon, the interception that he returned for a touchdown was actually the second longest interception returned for a touchdown in school history. And also, it was the most interceptions in the same game by a Miami Hurricanes player since 2008. So, our dude Kinchens out here breaking school records. You love to see that. Borregales didn't have to do anything, bro. Kick the 5 extra points, and he put them through, though. So, that's good to see. And Headley with some big-time punts. 5 punts this afternoon. 3 of those landed inside the 20. And there was another one that could have been very close. Very, very close. So, again, man, all around a pretty complete game. We got a scary one coming up next week. Let's not sugarcoat it. Just because we beat Georgia Tech, I'm seeing a lot of Canes fans say that we're going to hang with Clemson. Clemson's not necessarily the juggernaut that people make them out to be, but they are definitely playing a lot better football than we are. So, I don't know. We'll kind of slice and dice that game up coming up this next week. We'll talk about it more in depth. Right now, though, man, yeah, it's Clemson for sure. We got to win one more game if we want to go bowling. So we'll see. We'll see, man. Still got Pitt after that as well. Remember, though, guys, we're all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I got to say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. And, man, I got to say, though, y'all truly don't understand. I wish I could point the camera down here. Y'all truly don't understand how big of a mess this is. Who is going to help me come clean this up? Jorn? Melissa? Chris? Somebody. Hey, Bergie, I need one of y'all to come over here and help me clean up this mess because it's literally everywhere. They're stuck to my ceiling.